Okay guys, Doc is here, and in this video I'm going to talk about the weapons that you can use in Black Zone as a solo ganking weapon. As you know guys, the SPI just launched an update which was huge for Black Zone players, for especially solo Black Zone players. So I'm really obsessed for 1 month playing in Black Zone as a solo ganker. I tried a lot of builds, a lot of weapons that I know a lot about solo ganking right now. I have a lot of experience, I can say, and I can say that this tier list will help you a lot, and it is updated based on the nerfs and buffs of the weapons that we had in the last patches. So keep on with me, watch till the end, and thanks for coming. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Let's go straight into the tier list and don't waste time. By the way, I can say we have all of the weapons of Albion Online here, and some of the weapons are not really good for Black Zone ganking. So I will pass them and I will just choose the weapons that are really good for Black Zone ganking, and I mean solo roaming in general. So let's start it right now. Let's go for the swords that we have in the here. Let's go for the first weapon, which is, good for solo ganking. Let's pass the broadsword, which is not really good even in 1v1 situations at all, and it is a dead weapon. Let's go for Claymore. Claymore, guys, all the swords have a good Q, and they have a little bit of root on W, but unfortunately, Claymore has a good damage if it has 3 stacks on the Q. So, in general, the weapons which can pair up with Assassin Jacket, which can have an offhand, are really good because they will just have more damage, more cooldown reduction, and Assassin Jacket gives you a little bit more chance to escape from people. So Claymore is one of the weapons which have Assassin Jacket paired up with, so I think it is not that bad, but it is not that good because the E is really dependent on the Q stacks. So you need a weapon which is good and you start, like one-handed spear, you know? I know the damage on one-handed spear is dependent on the Q, but it has interrupt, it has even good damage without, Q stacks. So the Claymore E has a little bit of, good range, but not that good for solo ganking because it's really dependent on the Q stacks, and you cannot, just root the enemy in one place for a long time. So I really put it on B tier because the PvE with swords, it's not that pleasant. Claymore has a bad PvE too. So let's go for the dual sword. The next weapon we can just talk about it is dual sword, guys. Dual sword is a really new player friendly. It can be paired up with Assassin Jacket, but it's not that much good with Assassin Jacket. You should play with Mercenary Jacket to have a better, outcome out of it. It has good PvE, I think, and the mobility on E, it's good. So I think for the sake of, new players, and because it's a new player ganking weapon, and it's really a good start for solo players and new players to start with, I can say it is kind of A tier weapon, guys. I should just consider so many, things to make this tier list. So PvE is really important because as a ganker, when you go into the Black Zone, you don't want to only gank people, you want to do some PvE too. So you don't want to waste time, and you want to make money, right? So PvE is important because the camps are right now a great source of income. So PvE does matter. The simplicity of the weapon does matter because if the weapon is too complicated to play, so maybe it is good. Maybe we have some weapons that are really complicated to play, but the more simple, the more better. So I put it on A tier. Let's go to the next weapon, which Clarence Blade. Clarence Blade is not really good weapon, and for ganking, maybe in PvP, small scale ZVZ is good, but not in 1v1 situation and not for ganking. Let's go for the next one, which is Carving Sword, guys. Carving Sword has great E. It has great E, guys. And it has a great debuff on the enemies, which reduce resistance to damage. And it has good mobility because the E has a good range. It has a root on W, which all the swords have. It has a good Q, which increases your movement speed. But unfortunately, the E, I know it is really dependent on the Q because if you have 3 stacks, we will have maximum debuff on the enemy. But even with no Q stacks, it has good debuff on the enemy. So, and it can be paired up great with Assassin Jacket, and for sure it is easy to play. It is really easy to play with carving, I assure you, for solo ganking. I mean, not in we are not talking about 1v1 situation in Mist or something like this. So I really put it on S tier because it's one of the greatest weapons that you can play with Assassin Jacket or Helmet of Valor and a Scholar Sandal. I will tell the build right now too. With Dual Sword, you can just play with Assassin Jacket, Helmet of Valor, Scholar Sandal, or Mercenary Jacket is better. And for the food, I really suggest you to go with Eel Stew on both, and Claymore is better with Cleric Robe or maybe Assassin Jacket, and a Helmet of Valor or Fiend Cowl, and Scholar Sandal or Soldier Boots. And you can go with Stew as food for Claymore. Okay, let's go for the very next weapon. Gallatin Pair does suck. Kingmaker is not really good, and Infinity Blade. I know Infinity Blade gives you good mobility, it has good damage because of the buff on the E, but it is really too expensive to just lose it in Black Zone, and you have to pay a lot to just get a weapon that we have already on our tier list. It is even, I think I can say, carving is the same and equal in ganking, not in one situation in Black Zone. So let's forget about Infinity Blade. Let's go for Battle Axe, guys. Battle Axe, as you know, was a great weapon back in the days. They did some nerfs about it. I mean, they nerfed the third Q. I mean, third combo of the Q, which doesn't apply bleeding stacks anymore. They nerfed the E a little bit more. I mean, it has a cooldown and you cannot cast it twice, I mean, immediately. And I think for the time, I mean, that we have right now, Battle Axe has a great PvE, but it is not really a great weapon that it used to be for ganking, guys. But since it has some good mobility ability, some good damage on E, not really bad, they didn't nerf the damage, and the Q stacks will prevent enemies to just turn invisible, and the third combo in the Q stacks has Root. I think it should be on B tier because it is really easy to play too. Everyone can play with Battle Axe, guys. It is really easy to play with. Okay, let's go with Great let's tell you the build. It is Hunter Hood, Mercenary Jacket, Soldier Boot. This is the 1v1 build, but if you change the Hunter Hood for Fiend Cowl, it is going to be the ganking build. But I really prefer, listen, if you want to go a little bit expensive but more effective, Helmet of Valor is always a better choice because it has an AoE effect. It is not the right like a Fiend Cowl. If the enemy uses Invisibility Potion, you can use simply Helmet of Valor and get a purge on the enemy, and it can just take debuff out of you, so it is a really great option. I'm sorry, let's go for the next weapon, which is going to be Great Axe. Great Axe does suck for, I mean, it is good for PvE, but not for solo ganking. Halberd is bad. Carrying Collar and Infernal Scythe are all bad for solo ganking. Let's go to the next weapon, which got a little bit of nerf for solo ganking in Black Zone, unfortunately. I think Sphere just wanted to make it a little bit brawly weapon, which has a life still on E right now. And it is Bear Paws. Right now, Bear Paws has low range on E. It has mobility on W for sure, as other axes have, but it has bleeding effects on E. It has it on Q, but no bleeding effect on E, which was a great thing because you could just hit the enemy and prevent him to use Invisibility Potion. But nowadays it is a little bit brawly weapon, but I think for solo ganking, it is still a good weapon. It is really still easy to use weapon. If you abuse IP with it, you can go with Mercenary Jacket or Assassin Jacket with it, with Fiend Cowl or Helmet of Valor and a Scholar Sandal with it. So it has good sustain for sure, and at the same time you can just go with Assassin Jacket. Will make you more susceptible to escape from gankers. You know, when you go in Black Zone, you have to consider being aggressive, at the same time how to escape from gankers, because time to time you can just get to, some group of gankers which they just want to hunt you, not the guy that you're targeting. So you have to escape from that situation too. Okay, let's talk about the next weapon, which is going to be Brainbreaker. Let's forget about it. It's not really good. The new, axe is not really good. They buffed it, but it's not really good for ganking. We have 100 mace, guys. Right now, 100 mace was really good until they nerfed the Stalker Jacket. I said before, the weapons that can pair up with Assassin Jacket are the most used weapon on, Black Zone. You can just go with everything that can pair up with Assassin Jacket well to go into the Black Zone. But this weapon is really just good with Stalker Jacket, unfortunately, and the Stalker Jacket is a no-no in Black Zone because it puts you in combat even if you're just doing some PvE. You know, these kind of abilities are really a little bit dangerous. You don't want to be put in combat once a guy is just coming with his horse or something like this, and it has no damage without the Stalker Jacket and Cultist Cowl. So I put it on D tier. It has a bad PvE experience, but because of the high mobility, I can say it can be put on D tier. It has some uses, but it is not really great in open world roaming. We have Great Hammer, Camlon Mace is this, and it is Morning Star and Bedrock and Incubus. All of these guys suck at solo roaming in Black Zone, but only Oathkeepers. Oathkeepers have one thing which makes them special, which is their E. Their E will help you just escape from gankers, just mount up without getting attacked. It is a great shield, guys, which can be taken away with, claw or something like this, but it is still a good choice, guys. You can just use it and just mount up, and the PvE experience does suck. And I think once the E on Mace has a slow or stun ability, depends on where you land, the Oathkeeper has a shield, so it has more survivability but lower mobility. So they are just going to rest their life at the D tier weapons for solo roaming and solo ganking, but they're fun. They're fun to play. Let's tell you what builds you can just play with Mace and Oathkeeper. For Oathkeeper, I really prefer to use Cultist Cowl, Mercenary Jacket or Stalker Jacket, and Scholar Sandal. For 100 Mace, you go with 100 Mace, Leering Cane, Cultist Cowl, Stalker Jacket, and Scholar Sandal. So that's the build I can use for these weapons. Let's go to the next weapons. We will have hammers, guys, here. 100 hammer is really totally shared. This is, I don't know, even pole hammer, I think. This is pole hammer. It is not, it is bad. We have Great Hammer and Two Hammer, which are better weapons than, I think, these maces right now for solo ganking. I will tell you why. Because the Great Hammer and I can say Tomb Hammer are really dependent on soldier armor, which is a better, better choice, for you to use in Black Zone and in open world. You can go with, even Tomb Hammer can be used with Assassin Jacket, I can say, because it has good E. You can just stun the enemy, and it has a debuff, the Tomb Hammer, on the enemies that reduce their max health. So I think both of them can be used with Assassin Jacket, and they have a lot of mobility. Because of the W, even Great Hammer has more mobility. You can just use your E as a, escape ability from gankers, but they're not really as good as they used to be back in the days. They just nerfed them a lot. So, and they have bad PvE, but I really want to just put them above maces because they can just be put together because they have more damage on Q, they have a good E. More damage with, soldier armor and assassin jacket. So I think they are C tier. They're not really good, but they're not really bad. Something like this. And we have this Forge Hammers, they suck. We have Group Keeper, they suck. The Hand of Justice, I think it sucks. We have gloves at the next stop, which are very great because they have really good mobility on Q, good mobility on W, and some of them are really good. you can just play with them and just have extraordinary, loot from them, because they have a lot of mobility. In Black Zone, mobility is really important. You have to have a balance between mobility and damage at the same time. So if you have a lot of mobility with no damage, it sucks. If you have like hammers, like maces, if you have a lot of damage with no mobility, it sucks too. So the Brawler Glove have a lot of damage, but I think at the same time it can have a mobility, but the PvE is not really bad, I can say. So, but the mobilities, the other, like Battle Bracer and Fist of Avalon, they have even mobility ability on E. So the Brawler Gloves have just mobility on Q and W, which they nerf the cooldown. So I think nowadays I can say the Brawler Gloves can be used on B tier, which along Battle Axe and Claymore. They have a lot of damage, and I think someday if I spec it up, I will use it, because it is a fun weapon to play with. It has a lot of damage on E, and you can even pair it up with the Assassin Jacket, I think. Why not? I know they play it with Cleric Robe, and they have a refresh or something like this on their helmets, but you can play it with Fiend Cowl or Cultist Cowl and Assassin Jacket and Scholar Sandal, because it is really a mana hungry build and weapon. So let's go to the Battle Berserker, guys. Battle Berserker has a lot of damage on E. It has a lot of mobility on Q and W. You can just play it with Assassin Jacket, and it is perfect, guys. It has a lot of things that are really needed in weapons that you want to play in Black Zone. So I really prefer to say it is a S tier weapon. It is perfect. I really don't like the mechanic on E, but if I don't like it, it doesn't matter that it is not good. So just play it with, a Scholar Sandal, Assassin Jacket, Cultist Cowl, or Helmets of Valor, and just destroy anyone you see. But just be careful, and anytime you want to get out of a fight, you can do it. It is really simple. Sorry. Okay, next weapon is this. Gauntlets, I think. Spark Gauntlets. These are not really good. This is not Hellfire Hands. I think they can be somehow good, because they have certain builds, you know that. It is, Royal Helmet, and Assassin Jacket, and Hunter Shoes, or maybe Scholar Sandal. You can use it in Black Zone. I didn't try to use it. It is kind of a troll build, guys, you know. One-shot builds, most of them in Black Zone, for roaming, they are just troll builds. You don't have to abuse IP to make a good outcome, but I want a good build for anyone to use it. So I can say this can be just laid down in a C tier, because it's kind of a troll one-shot build. Okay, Fist of Avalon, it got nerfed a lot. Let's go to the next weapon, which is Fist of Avalon. It got nerf, which is on E. The cooldown just got increased for 5 seconds. Now we have 25 seconds cooldown if you don't use it, and if you use your E, it is going to be 30 seconds. This is a lot, guys. Even if you use Omelette, it is going to be 27 seconds. So it is a lot nerf, but at the same time, it is good to use it. It has a perch on E. Maybe it is good, and it's still a devastating on 1v1 and brawl situation. You can just fight with the enemy, do your combo, and just get out. But I really don't like it for ganking people, because it is really hard to land your E and your combo right to purge enemy boots. Because in open world, the enemies are really, when they see you, they got in shock, and they got confused, and they are really unpredictable. So I really don't like the E, but it is still at the same place with Berpa, I think. Still good, guys. You can just use it with Assassin Jacket, Cultist Cowl, or even Fiend Cowl, and with Scholar Sandal for sure. All of these gloves are really mana hungry. Use them with Scholar Sandal, guys. Okay, let's go with the for the next weapon, which is, we have some weapons which are good in this branch, which are one-shot crossbow, the crossbow, normal crossbow, and boltcaster, guys. All other are really bad for solo ganking and roaming in first place. We have a one-shot crossbow, which is a one-shot build for sure. A Scholar Robe, and the other thing that you can use, Scholar Robe with Soldier Boot for sure, and with Harvester Cap or Demon Helmet. You will silence the enemy or root the enemy and just one-shot him, something like this. And you will just use some Q abilities to just finish him off. You can use it in Morgana Cape or Smuggler Cape, I don't know. And with Invisible. So this weapon is a troll weapon like the Hellfire Hands. It's not really good and solid, weapon to choose from. But if you IP abuse and you abuse IP and just go with 1400 IP, it will work eventually. But I really don't like it. It is not solid weapon to just gank anyone. You need a escape set for these two. You need double-bladed staff, carving sword with it. So I really don't like it. And the PvE experience is not really a pleasant one because the E is useless, but the Q and W is good. So I can say, yeah, you need some alternative sets for the caps, because the Scholar Robe that you want to use to reduce the cast speed on E, it is useless. It has no defense and offense at the same time. Okay. The Great Crossbow, Last Crossbow, Repeater are chat. Okay, let's go to Boltcasters, which is here. It is better than the one-shot crossbow because it has at least some, sustainable damage on E. You can use it, pair it up with the Assassin Jacket, you can pair it up with Mercy Jacket, you can pair it up with Cleric Robe. It has more, I can say, versatility, and it has more damage, and it is easier to use, I can say, the Boltcaster. So I can just put it on B tier. It is not that perfect, especially because you need to have an escape set with it, and it has low mobility. It has unfortunately low mobility because you want to use it with Assassin Jacket, Demon Helmet, or Harvester Cap to just pin them in one place and just silence them on W. You have to use silence on W to just silence them and use your E to one-shot the enemy. And for food, you can use this too. So it is not really a good option to use in Black Zone. I don't like it that much. Okay, the crossbows are over. Shapeshifter is trash. Don't use it. Energy Shaper. I'm sorry. Norba Bow, Warbow, Longbow are trash for solo roaming. Let's go to Whispering Bow that got buffed a little bit. Bows in general are really not good because they have low mobility. I know they have a W which has a mobility, but it is bad, guys. It is even worse than Bear Paw mobility abilities. Dual Sword, it is lesser than that. And the PvE is really unpleasant, guys. I don't like the PvE even when you use Ray of Light, it is unpleasant. I don't like the PvE situation right now. I hope they buff it a little bit. Even now, which has 10 seconds cooldown, I think Whispering Bow, it is a B tier weapon, unfortunately. But it has a good damage, but you have to chase the enemy at the same time that you're just dealing damage. You can just spam your E, but the enemy will just escape. It is really easy because they have Invisipod, they have, I don't know, Assassin Jacket, they have everything to escape from you. So it doesn't have the criteria you can use in Black Zone. The enough criteria. So it is a B tier weapon. And you can use it with Mercenary Jacket, Assassin Jacket, and for the helmet you can just use Fleet Cow, Helmet of Valor. It is good with Scholar Sandal for sure. And Bow of Battle. Bow of Battle is kind of weapon which has good PvE, better PvE than Whispering Bow. But the cooldown on E is really unpleasant. But I think because of the good PvE, I love to say it is a B tier weapon. It's not that bad that I can say. But it has good mobility, good E damage. You can use it with Poison Arrow to chase the enemy. And the E is not as worse than Whispering Bow. You don't need to auto attack again and again. You can use it once if you aim well. So the PvE is good. PvP is not bad. So not bad at all, guys. Okay, let's go to the next weapon, which is going to be, and these are the other are Veiling Bow, and I don't know, these Mist Piercer Bow, they are really good. Let's go to the One-Handed Dagger, guys. One-Handed Dagger was always a good weapon to gang with in solo PvP stuff. So like Corrupted Dungeon, they do one-shot people. In in Mist, if you are a good player, experienced player, One-Handed Dagger, you can just own so many melee weapons and even range weapons and kiting builds. So I can say One-Handed Dagger is a good weapon for ganking, and if you do the combos right. And it is not that hard to do it because you're ganking the guy. You have the superior hand. You can predict it, but the enemy doesn't predict it. If he whites back, if he's a melee build, he's going to be destroyed. So I can say it is a A-tier build because it's a dagger. It has good PvE abilities. It has first W. It has second Q. So you have a good chance to one-shot people. And you have a lot of damage. You can use it with Helmet of Valor to purge the enemies, boots in this spot, and you have a slight bleeding effect, which will help you a little bit to get a little bit advantage and just how can I say that, deactivate in this spot. So it is good. It is A tier. Hunter jacket. I can say Helmet of Valor, a Scholar Sandal. You can use Morgana cape. You can use a smaller cape. You have more 2 in this spot at the same time. Go with this 2 and just destroy the enemies. Okay, Dagger Pair, which is the weapon that everyone loves to play with, and it is really good weapon, but unfortunately you have to IP abuse it to just have a slight chance of just ganking people. So if you want to play with Dagger Pair, you have to abuse IP, go with 1400 to 1500 IP, and it is kind of a troll bit, which has not a good PvP, not a good PvE, but it is not bad. I don't like it because it's a kind of troll bit, because it can be really countered easily with Clerical, with Hunter Hood, with Guardian Helmet, with, I don't know, you have to IP abuse, you cannot just easily use it. And it is fun to one-shot people, but it is not really solid option, guys. We need solid options. You can go with Druidic Robe, you can go with Royal Boots, and for the helmet, I don't know, Fiend Cowl maybe. Fiend Cowl can be good, the Stalker Hood, and maybe you can pair it up with Assassin Jacket too, to just play a little bit a stealthy version of it. Okay, let's go for the next weapon, which is going to be Claw and Locket, guys. Claw has roots, Claw has dagger ability, it is good for PvE, not bad I can say. Claw has a root on E, it has bleeding effect on E, so I would love to play it in the future, and it is really simple to use, guys. You can play it with Mercenary Jacket and Assassin Jacket at the same time, with Helmet of Valor, Fiend's Cowl, or even Cultist Cowl, why not? And with Scholar Sandal, so I really put it on A tier, you can use it, it has low damage, guys. Just keep this in mind, it is not going to just finish them off with one combo. You have to do the combo and you get out of the fight, get the cooldown back, and just go for another combo. With this 2, you can just destroy the enemy, or Red Spirit also is a good option for that too. Bloodletter! That Bloodletter weapon is really great for ganking, guys. It has mobility, it has a great E to finish them off, the targets, and you can pair it up with Assassin Jacket. It has offhand, guys. It is really important. You can use Mist Color, Torch, Face Breaker for the offhand. Even you can just use Cryptogando to one-shot people. We have some people that running, plate armors and go with Cryptogando. Why not? And you can use it with Helmet of Valor, Assassin Jacket, the Scholar Sandal. It has a lot of mobility, and it has a pleasant PvE because of the E and W and Q. Not bad, not bad. Daggers have mediocre PvE experience. So I think I can put it on S tier because it has a lot of mobility. It has a lot of mobility, guys. Death Givers are pure gankers, guys. You have a lot of damage on E. You have good mobility with Q and W, as we have on all other daggers. You can play with a dash ability on the W, so you have a great chance of escaping from gankers. The Q stacks will help you have a lot of damage on E. You can have infinite E with Q stacks, because every time you have 3 stacks and use your E, you get the E back. You can use it with Assassin Jacket. This is important. And Fiend Cowl, Assassin Jacket, and a Scholar Sandal are the best combo. And you can use it with Mercenary Jacket too, so it's on your choice. If you use it with Assassin Jacket, we will have more probability to survive in Blackstone. So just keep this in mind. Defense Fang is bad, bridled. I don't know about the name. So I think we got finished with the daggers. They are bad. The remaining 2, but we have the most amount of weapons that can be used in ganking situation from daggers. So perfect. And last weapon branch are spears, guys. And spears are perfect. I can say we have one S tier weapon from spears, which is here. here, guys. Which is here, guys. One-handed spear is a tier ganking weapon right now. It has cripple on W. It has a good dash ability at the same time. It makes people knock in the air, which will, which help you to interrupt their boots, because they will just have 1 second in the air and they cannot do anything. You have an interrupt on E. You have a slow on Q. Do you know that? Did you know that you have a slow on Q? And you can just pair it up with Assassin Jacket, and you can run off hands. You can go with Torch, you can go with Facebreaker, you can go with Mist Color, and it is perfect, guys. You can go even with Hunter Shoes to get cooldowns back really easily, and it is not that mana hungry, guys. But if you use Impaler, it is going to be mana hungry. But I mean, with Cripple, it is not. So it is perfect, guys. Use it while you can. With the build I said, Helmet of Valor, Assassin Jacket, and Hunter Shoes. And I play with Torch and one-handed spear. The Pike is kind of a Trollblade, as I said, but because it is a spear and has cripple, it has good damage and root on E, I can say it is going to sit on the C tier. And we have Glaive, it is not really good. We have Herod Spear. We're going to be a little bit more faster. For Pike, you can use Cultist Robe or Cleric Robe, Cultist Cowl, or Helmet of Valor, a Scholar Sandal on boots, and a Stew and Pike. It doesn't have an offhand. But Earnest Spear, you can use it with Leering Cane or Mist Color. You can go with Assassin Jacket. Earnest Spear has a great root ability, a stun ability, better say, and it has cripple on W and is low on Q, as all L spears have. So it has a lot of probability to kill people while you're ganking with it. So I really want to try Heron Spear too, and you can pair it up even with Mercenary Jacket with the W, first W, I think. It has a good brawl, because you can stun enemy, do Mercenary Jacket at the same time with the first Q combo. It will heal you up to max HP, and it is perfect, guys. So it is a perfect weapon to use in Black Zone, and most people love it. I think it is really a fun weapon to play. So you can pair it up with Assassin Jacket, Cultist Cowl, Helmet of Valor, and a Scholar Sandal, and with Mist Color I rather to use, or Leering Cane. These both are good. And Glaive is bad. This is bad Spirit Hunter, I think. And Trinity Spear is not good. I can say it is as the same as Pike. You can run the same build as Pike, and it is not really good, I can say. Daybreaker, it is A tier. It is A tier. It is a little bit lower than one-handed spear. I will tell you why, but it is exactly the same as one-handed spear, except for one one criteria. Because the E is a little bit slow, the movement that you have is a little bit slow, so it is not really good to reach to enemy. It is really good for, brawl, and the Q stacks are not really important for the damage of the E, unlike the one-handed spear. And then once you use your E, you will have, keep your Q stacks. So it is good. It is good, I know, but I just used it a lot in Black Zone ganking, because it is really slow on E, and it is really hard to land your E sometimes I can say. It is a tier weapon, but you can just play the same build as you play with one-handed spear with Daybreaker. It is really good. And but with the Scholar Sandal, because the E is a little bit mana hungry, guys. Keep this in mind. Okay, the new, Davalonian, what is this? The new spear is not really good. Okay, let's go to Quarterstaffs. We have 2 good Quarterstaff to play with. 3 good, I can say. One is Quarterstaff. Quarterstaff, guys, is one of the weapons that just got a little bit reworked. They added new W, they added new Q abilities, and nowadays it is the most used weapon, I think I can say, along with dual swords for new players. I think it's one of the best weapons to use for new players and solo players. In Black Zone, it has good PvE because of the Q. It is really easy to play. The W is really good for PvE. The W, which has movement speed off, is really good for ganking. And we can pair it up with Assassin Jacket, but I really prefer to play it with Mercenary Jacket, Fiend Cowl, and Scholar Sandal. And it has a great mobility because of the E. So it is a A tier for ganking, guys, solo roaming and ganking in general. We have another, quarter staff, which is going to be on B tier, I think. You have to IP abuse with this weapon, and it has a little bit worse PvE than a quarter staff, and a lot of, lot less damage on E. So, but more range and more, it is a slow ability more than, stun. This is, stun somehow, but this is slow. So I think I can say it is B tier. You can play with Assassin Jacket, Purity, Cowl of Purity, or maybe Helmet of Valor, Assassin Jacket, with, Scholar Sandal. You have to IP abuse with this shit. So you cannot play it normal. And I can say Grey Seeker is the same. It has no damage on E. But why I just put it here? Because I don't like it. It is really expensive, guys. It is really fun if you want to play with it, just have a troll with it. But it is not a solid weapon. But at least we can put it on the tier list because it has some mobility, it has some root on the E, but it has no damage on the E because it will make it harder for PvE, and you have to play it with Demon Cape, Soldier Armor. I think Soldier Armor is good, and maybe Cultist Cowl or Helmet. Helmet of Valor. I'm sorry, and a Scholar Sandal. That's the build you have to use. We don't have any other quarter staff to play. Let's go straight to the shapeshifters. All of them suck. All of them does suck for solo, roaming and ganking people. But one is good. Let's just put myself, here. Here. Okay, we have just Prowling Staff, which can be used because of the, a movement speed buff, but I really don't like it, guys. If you go with Assassin Jacket, really squishy, you can die easily. If the guy fights back, if he's a dual sword, battle axe, even nature staff, you're going to die easily, guys, because it is really hard to play. If you go into the Panther form, you're really squishy, with Assassin Jacket, really squishy. You have to play it with Mistwalker Jacket and, I don't know, Cultist Cowl. But it is not really effective in Black Zone because they will run away from you. You have just one ability which is good, the leap on the W when you just change to Panther form. So I don't like it, guys. I can say because of the good PvE, it has a lot of damage, guys. The PvE experience is good, but it is really expensive. I can say it is C tier, along with other weapons. They are just troll, and if you really love them, you can just play with them. Okay, the other shifters are really bad. The nature staffs are bad for sure. The fire staffs are really bad. The only two weapons that you can play with is Brimstone and Blazing Staff. You can just play with them because I made a video about it, and you can just do can say one-shot combo, something like this, with Graveguard Armor, Harvester Cap, if I'm not mistaken, and Hellion Shoes, or some kind of, I can say, Hellion Shoes, or I don't know, any other shoes, Assassin Shoes maybe, if you jump on the enemy or something like this. You will just make the enemy asleep, and you will use E with Morgana Cape, guys, to destroy the enemy. That's it. That's the one-shot combo. But it is not really effective, guys. It just works in some cases. You need the escape set because they have no mobility, and if you fuck up, you will die eventually because it is so shady. So let's go to the next weapons. Holy Staffs are really bad. Arcane Staffs. Okay, let's go to the Arcane Staffs. We have 3 Arcane Staffs which might work in solo ganking experience, which can be Witchwork, Great Arcane, and One-Handed Arcane. Arcane Staffs have good PvE because they have a lot of AoE effects and AoE damage on W, on Q, and on E, one-handed Arcane Staff, you can just pair them. 2 of them can be paired with Assassin Jacket, and I can say all of them can be paired with Assassin Jacket, and they can be run with offhand. So I think I will put all of them on B tier. Here, Witchwork on B tier, and Great Arcane. So I will explain why. One-handed Arcane has a purge on E. It is really slow, but it can be hit on the enemy, and it has a large, area of effect. It is really big. The heat spot is really big. So it really can purge the enemy boots somehow. And the W is really good to just have a UE attack to just I mean, deactivate the invis spots, I mean, from the enemy. The witch work is really good because it pulls out the enemy in the center. You can just deactivate invis spots, I mean, waste their boots with this ability. And the great arcane is the same. You can just lock the enemies in time to prevent them from escaping while they're using their boots. So they all can be, I mean, used with Purity Cow and Assassin Jacket and a Scholar Sandal. At the same time, you can use Lyric Cane, Mist Color. Mist Color is the better option. And you can use them with Mercenary Jacket too. So it's on your choice, I mean, it's on you. Whatever. Okay. For the next weapons, and not all, I mean, other Arcane Staffs are not really good. Let's go for the Frost Staffs. Here, 100 Frost Staff is good. I can say this is S tier. Chill How is S tier. And Great Frost Staff is kind of B tier, guys. I can say. And let's say why 100 Frost Staff and Chill How was good. 100 Frost Staff is good because it has a root on E. It has good mobility on W, has a slow on Q. It can be paired up with Assassin Jacket. It can be paired up with Offhand, which is going to be Mist Color or Linen K. At the same time, you can use it on a Chill How too. The build is the same, so don't forget. A Scholar Sandal, Assassin Jacket, and Cowl of Purity or Cultist Cowl even, or even Helmet of Valor. You can use this with Mist Color and the Frost Staff that you're using. So, and it has good PvE situation because all of the abilities that you're using are AoE, so you're going to have a decent amount of PvE, I mean, opportunity. So I really put them on S tier because really they're really great. With Chill How, you can just waste the enemy, I mean, Mercenary Jacket, you can waste the enemy boots if you just time it perfectly. So it is really great option to use them in solo, I mean, roaming or mobile forward situation. If you just go with high IP, you are going to destroy enemy, guys. You're going to destroy the enemy. Okay, let's go for the next weapon. I talk too much, guys, I'm sorry. So let's go for the next weapon. But before that, if you're just watching till now, just don't forget, please, just to subscribe my channel. If you enjoy, like the video and just share this video with the other guys, with your friends. And don't watch, I mean, the last minutes of the video. It is really rigged. Okay. Just forget about the Gratian Staff, I mean, what is it, Hoarfrost Staff? I mean, I don't know. And the other things. Let's forget about them. I don't know the name. What is this? Frost Shooter? Ice Shard? I don't know. Okay, let's go to the last branch, which will be the Curse Staffs. Let's teleport me here. Okay, I can say the Curse Staffs have some good weapons to use in Black Zone solo roaming because they have good PvE situation. Because of the last Q, you can use the W. The laser beam is really good for PvE, and I can say they need escape set, unfortunately. But I can say we can just forget about it. I mean, because they are really great. Curse Staffs are really new player friendly. They're really easy to play, and they just give you a lot of opportunity to gank people with. So I can say Life Curse is S tier. And 100 Curse is A tier curse. I can say why. The build you can use with 100 Curse is they have a lot of builds you can use. Mercenary Jacket with Cultist Cowl, Cleric Robe with Cultist Cowl. You can use, you have to use Soldier Boots for sure. And Assassin Jacket can be used too, even. Why not? And with Cleric Robe you can use a shield, which will increase your survivability. With Mercenary Jacket, you can use Muzak, and you can use Face Breaker too at the same time. And with Assassin Jacket, you can use Mist Color and Crypto Candle. No, Crypto Candle is not good. And Muzak, something like this, and Soldier Boots. So you have a root on W, have a good Q which prevents enemy to use Invisibility Potion because it has a dot damage, so they cannot use Invisibility Potion. And you have a root, as I said, which roots the enemy at one place, and the Soldier Boot will help you a lot to kill the enemy. And there is a final touch with 100 Curse Staff. I can say all of the Curse Staffs are not really good, but Life Curse is S tier for a reason. For a big reason, which I can say, it will help you. It will help you a lot, guys, because it has AoE purge ability, guys, and it is really easy to use. You can pair it up with Assassin Jacket, you can pair it up with Mercenary Jacket. and even someone, I mean, a Stalker 313, which is a contest creator, well known to use, I mean, Curse Staffs. He's just using it with, I think, Phase Scale Rogue, which is a little bit expensive, but it can use offhand with it. I use it use Mist Color, Assassin Jacket, Cultist Scout, Soldier Boot with it, and you can use it with Stew and Snapper as food. So it is a versatile weapon. I mean, Life Curse, it has good PvE because it has the third Q, so I really love it. And the Purge on E, it is perfect, guys. It has a long, I mean, big AoE. You can use it to purge the Invisibility Potion, Assassin Jacket, purge the boots. It is perfect, guys. So we're done, guys. Yeah, we just got all the weapons that we have. These are the weapons I really suggest you to play with if you're a new player. But as a new player that wants to start ganking and roaming in Black Zone, I really suggest you to play Life Curse with Escape Set. I mean, Double Bladed Staff, Carving Sword, Assassin Jacket, and all the shits. And from S tier, I really suggest you to play Life Curse. From A tier, I really suggest you to play Dual Sword and, I mean, 100 Curse Staff. From B tier, I suggest you to play Battle Axe. From C tier, you can play, let's say, none of them. None of them are good. And from D tier, don't play it. Don't play it. Why you have to play with for the D tier? That's it all, guys. Thank you for watching. I tried my best. I just recorded this video 2 times. I just spoke and just talked for 1.5. And I'm sorry, guys, if I just felt a little bit off because I talked too much from before. And thank you, guys. Love you guys. If you enjoyed watching this video and it was really helpful for you, just share this video, please. Subscribe to the channel. Join my Discord channel because we have weekly giveaway. And don't forget to like the video. Love you all. Thank you for watching.